what God did in Burma, God is doing now, and we have this opportunity in the Middle East. We're sending a team from our church to 3 Middle Eastern countries this month. And we had this plan before Burma. We almost did not go to Burma because of this plan. But God needed time to get everything in order because it's the kind of God he is, as we prayed. And a year ago, we had consulted this guy to make some pretty artwork and to help us with Reload Love to know how to spread the message. And they recommended, why don't you take over Valentine's Day? I mean, you know, Operation Christmas Child has Christmas, and other people do this and do that. Nobody has co-opted Valentine's Day. And, you know, there's a lot of lonely hearts. If you don't get chocolates, which melt or make you fat, if you don't get flowers, which wilt, and you could be allergic to, why don't you encourage people to love, show the love of God, to give love to orphans, to those traumatized by terror far away? And we're like, what a brilliant idea. And his big campaign was, drop the L-bomb for the love bomb. Now you might think H-bomb, and maybe some of you rappers will think F-bomb, but we really mean the L-bomb, that you're gonna drop the love bomb. And so we wanted to have this idea that during Valentine's Day, we would fill up a bomb of love, and if people have darkness, we'll bring light. If there's hate, we'll bring love. And where there's hurt, we'll bring healing. And it was like, yes, the armies of the Lord rise up and share his love all over the world. So that's going okay. We're thinking about what could we do. And at Christmas time, a friend comes to town and she says, how's the fundraising going? I'm terrible at it. I hate asking. I don't want to do it. And she goes, I know, it's really hard. Well, she just happens to be like a professional fundraiser in Washington, D.C. for campaigns and stuff like that. So she says, you know what, I'm going to start calling you and give you ideas. So she calls. The first idea, she says, you know what you should do? You should do a money bomb. I'm like, you mean like an L-bomb? Because we were already planning this. And she goes, so a money bomb is this. You just tell people on a specific day, like say February 14th, that you're going to raise this X amount of money, and everybody that day can just go online and give money, and then you collect this X amount of dollars. Now make it something that's ambitious, but not something that's totally unattainable. So I go to my Reload Love team and I say, okay, our L bomb is becoming a money bomb, so we should collect money. How much money do you think we should collect? I mean, really, honestly, this is not sophisticated. We sit around and we pray and go, I don't know, what do you think, 50K? Could you think we could do 50K? That's massive. I don't even know what we're thinking. But so we go, yeah, let's 50K. We'll try and do a love bomb 50K. We come into the church, we start making artwork, and we're going to send emails and all this kind of stuff. So I tell Skip, who's going with this team, guess what, honey? We're going to give you 50K. We don't even have yet. We're going to give you 50K to take on this journey to the Middle East. And he goes, honey, who am I going to give it to? And God's going to show you. When I got to Thadadere, I didn't know what they needed. I didn't know they needed a school. God's going to show you. He's going to give you this money. You know, he just doesn't operate quite like I do. And he's, oh, okay. 2 days later, I met this guy in Burma who shouldn't have been there, and either should I. And when he saw me, he said, what are you doing here? Are you nuts? He said, where's your security detail? There was just a landmine that went off. The Burma army's only 2 hours away. What are you doing here? I don't know. God sent me there, and I'm home safe. So anyway, he calls and says, guess what? I am going to this specific country that Skip is traveling to on the exact dates Skip is traveling. I go, holy cow, what are the odds of that? I just met this guy. And he's got skills. You know, Liam Neeson, you've just met a guy with a particular set of skills, and I will hunt you down. I mean, it's that kind of people. I'm just so going off the grid right now. It's bad. Okay, so this guy calls, and he says, we have heard about an IDP camp, internally displaced people, that is deep into this war zone area. And they recently received 300 kids that have been saved from the war, that have been sexually abused and beaten. And I can't really tell all my people what we're doing or where we're going because of the sensitivity. And he goes, but could Reload Love sponsor us with $50,000? And I'm like, are you nuts? Are you kidding me? We're dropping a love bomb. I'm like, of course we can, but we don't really have it yet. So we've given him, like, you know, a pretty large portion of it and say yes, and we're good for the rest. God willing. So, I mean, like, what are the odds? So now this guy's going to be in country with another organization we're meeting, and then this other organization is coming. And I'm like, wow, God's sending reinforcements to this particular area. And so I had gotten this number of this lady months ago. And, you know, when you start saying you're doing stuff, everybody gives you a number of somebody. And you're like, okay, that's in my file. If someday I'll do that. So this lady's number is in my file. And I was told she did sex trafficking. And I said, I love to deliver people from sex trafficking. End it. I'm all in with you. But we're working with children who are impacted by terror. And you have to stay focused to what God's told you to do. So I hadn't called her because I thought I'd just have to say, sorry, we don't do sex trafficking. We just help kids with terror. And I think, oh man, we probably better call this lady because a good friend told me to call her, and if I don't, I'm gonna look like a nerd. So we call her. And she says, by the way, I've been in contact with some of the people that are protecting the people in the Middle East, and they just found 300 children that have been abused and are in an IDP camp and they've been separated. Do you think you could help us? Because we found some guys with a particular set of skills that wanna go in there. And we said, we're already funding you. We just didn't know who you were. Oh, come on, you guys. God is the God of now. What I think at this point in my life is God's just showing off now. I'm like, if you didn't know if you're in God's will, He's an amazing God. He leads supernaturally, naturally. Psalm 37:4, my life verse, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. I believe it, heart and soul.